Hello, my name is Vincent. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm joined by my doggo, my best friend. Anyways, hopefully you're having a good day. I was just at a card show. I was working the table for my company, Vindicated. I've done several card shows, and it's a very interesting mix of feelings. It makes me wonder, has the magic of card games faded, or has it just changed? When I was a kid, opening a booster pack felt like opening a portal into a new world. It felt like creativity, the art, my imagination was just going everywhere. It was crazy. And I remember specifically going into this small town in Georgia with my parents, in which there was nothing there that I found interesting at all, except for one thing. Now, keep in mind, there's lots of like just random stuff for like adults, but as a kid, I just wasn't that excited until I went to this one store that had nothing I liked except for this display rack that was filled with different cards that were a quarter a piece. And I was thinking, oh, they're only a quarter a piece. Surely I can convince my dad to let me have one of these cards if I find something cool. And so I'm looking around this rack. I was super excited because all these cards, I was fascinated. Like the name, the character, the art, the flavor text, the effect, how all that ties together. Just something about that is just so exciting. And I came across this card, the Phantom Centaur. This guy I thought was badass. He just has this cool aura about him. You know, his vibes are off the charts. I'm not even a huge Centaur fan in general, but he can't be destroyed by any black cards. You know, he protection from black. He also has this cool ability that allows him to come to play with like he has zero toughness, which you almost never see in Magic the Gathering. Even like 2 decades, yeah, two decades since this card was printed, you rarely ever see zero toughness because when you play a creature with zero toughness, they would automatically die, except for these phantom cards. And the phantom cards come into play with +1/+1 counters, and whenever they would take damage, they remove a +1/+1 counter instead. So this guy can take 5,000 points of damage and still survive, which is so cool because not many cards in Magic the Gathering can do that, or even say that. And I mean, just look at him, the Phantom Centaur, and he was only a quarter, and my dad got him for me, and so I decided to build a whole deck around them that I still have to this day, built around these Phantom cards that I ended up making, and that kind of stuff happened to me all the time. I mean, I remember one time my dad picked up these two decks of cards. This is during Onslaught block, so we had like a cleric deck, I think, and then he was playing a zombie deck. And funny enough, I remember the deck he was playing better than the deck I was playing because I just remember all these zombies just swarming out in the field, just coming after me. I was like, man, this is crazy. But afterwards, when we were sitting in the hotel and we had nothing else to do, I would sit through and just read and look at every card. We didn't have iPads to just stare at. I didn't have like anything. I didn't have technology really. So I was just getting lost in the worlds on each of these cards and just really taking it in. And now those cards just really resonate with me. And that's something that I've took since my childhood and have since grown up with, where I still love appreciating cards for the art, for the flavor, for the world building, for the mechanics, everything. But being at these card shows, I wonder if that's changed. Now working at a game store and working card shows, I see kids being offered free Pokemon cards and they don't care about the cards at all. They don't want to look at them. They're commons. They're like, ugh, commons, give them away, throw them away. They see no value in them, even to give them away for free, which me as a kid, I used to go to the jockey lot and see tons of common Magic cards, and my dad and I would pick them up. We weren't interested in the value of them, but things have become so much to the point about the value that, kids who should be the most imaginative of us all are disregarding these cards because they're not worth enough, or value worth enough. And the parents or the adults in their 30s, such as myself, many of them are just trying to get the cards, get them graded, get the slabs, gem mint 10, make sure they're worth a lot, trying to look at these as investments, which is fine, but many of them don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to play a card game. They don't know how to play the games that they're collecting for. And again, this isn't everyone, but this is just something I've noticed working a game store and working card shows. And I mean, it's not to a it's to a big degree. I mean, at this card show I was at, I would say there was maybe one person I encountered that seemed to be of a similar mindset of me. And I would say that at least 95% of people were there for the value. Um, it's like glorified lottery. And look, honestly, it's okay. I had to reflect on this, and I had just a lot of emotions, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of hype and excitement, also sadness and melancholy, and just a whirlwind within me that was feeling all these different things. But ultimately, what I've had to come to realize is that people enjoy things for different reasons, and that's okay. And not everyone is going to enjoy the things that you enjoy or enjoy them the way you enjoy them. And with me being a game designer, I have to keep that in mind whenever I make games, because I need to make sure that players can enjoy games from a lot of different angles. It's not about just enjoying them the way that I want the game to be enjoyed. And that's something I really take into consideration whenever I make my games. And so, you know, ultimately, even though I think there is a negative edge to this, where we start getting into fights and people literally just see this as so much money that they are, you know, punching each other and stealing, or trying to scalp and taking all the product and whatever it may be. That stuff is all bad. I don't like that. But I think overall, having more interest in card games and getting more attention and eyeballs onto the hobby itself, I think overall is a good thing. Ultimately, I think there's still room for appreciating card games the way that I do. You know, card games for the imagination, the community, the creativity, the wonder, exploring new worlds, all that fun stuff. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, be sure to check out what we have going on with Vindicated in the links below. We have our own Discord community. That's super cool. We have our own website. We have games, card games, RPGs, all kinds of fun stuff. Would love to have you there. Thank you so very much for checking out this video. Let me know what you think about it, and if you've experienced this, or how you're feeling about the whole topic in general. And as always, take care and stay awesome. Hey, what is up? If you're a fan of anime and tabletop games, then be sure to check out our card games, tabletop role-playing games, and even our manga. We have a lot of fun stuff over there for you to check out on our website, VindicateEntertainment.com. We even have a brand new tabletop role-playing game, Black Paper Moon. Check it out, and we'll see you there.